said, "Why?" He says, "Oh, because it seemed popular on TikTok."
Oh, Brad, people don't leave the church because it's popular. If we did what was popular, we would have stayed in the church. I grew up in Utah County in Provo, the Mormon Mecca of the world, and everyone I knew was a member of the church. My family, my neighbors, my friends, my classmates, my teachers. In fact, two of my teachers were your brothers. One taught me in fifth grade, the other taught me in high school and seminary. And right across the street from my high school was BYU, the biggest church university in the world. If I did what was popular, I would have done what everyone else in my community did and stayed in the church. But I went against the grain last summer and left the church, not because it was popular, but because it was untrue. I take offense to the fact that the president of your church calls people like me lazy learners. I was not a lazy learner. I read the Book of Mormon more times than I can count. And then I had the courage to read those things that we were taught not to read because they would uncover the truth of the Mormon church. I learned that through LDS history that the church was built on lies. And I was very lucky when I left the church. The vast majority of my friends and family supported me, whether they were Mormons or not. They loved me for me. However, there were a handful of my friends and family whose love was conditional on my belonging to a church I didn't believe in. So when I left the church, I also left behind some pretty toxic relationships. And I am in a much better mental and emotional and spiritual place than I was when I was a member of the church. There are people who aren't as lucky as I am. We call these people PMOs, physically in, mentally out. They know that the church isn't true, but because they are afraid of losing their family, their friends, their community, they stay. They keep going. They go through the motions, not because they believe, but because they're afraid of losing everything that they hold dear. And I fear that if I had healthier relationships when I learned the truth of the church, I would have been tempted to stay in. So, Brad, people do not leave the church because it's popular. They leave the church because it's untrue.